Right. Great. Okay. So this is again the disclaimer for the following PPT. Uh, Moving on. Today we'll be covering patents drafting. Okay. So we have already discussed what comes in paper one. So paper two again has 50 marks of just conceptual questions, which you'll have to write subjective answers for. Everything based on what you've already studied. It's nothing difficult. Paper two has very easy questions in the first half. And the second set of 50 marks is the drafting itself. So you'll have to draft two patents. As in draft, when I say the word draft, you need to assume that you're going to be writing the entire patent application. And which form will you be filling? Basically, form number two. Because form one will have all the applicant details, form two will have the provisional or the complete specs. So in the paper itself, they'll expect you to write form number two itself, where they'll expect you to write the title, the abstract, everything which comes up as part of form number two, which is what we'll be learning today in patents drafting. Okay. So by no means is it possible to learn patents drafting within an hour or 90 minutes or so. This is an art that has to be refined over many years. Okay. So this is something that even I'm not extremely good at even now. And definitely, this is something to work on. So, what I'll be teaching you today is how to pass the exam, first of all. And secondly, how to attack the question intelligently so that you can score well also in paper two. Okay, so that's what we'll be learning in patents drafting. And basically, this will give you a basic idea of what should go in a proper patent draft. So, definitely, this will be a good foundation for you for the future as well. So, basically, what all goes in this patent application? When we are filling form number two, firstly, you'll have the title, as in the title of your invention. This has to be something very clear. It has to be lesser than 15 words, and it has to clearly indicate what your invention is. I can't have a laptop and then give a title saying basketball. Okay, it has to be something completely related to the invention. Again, there is a lot of strategy. Don't make it very close to your invention. Keep it vague. Keep it slightly ambiguous, but not too ambiguous also. Otherwise, it'll get rejected. Then applicant details about where you are, who you are, where you're from. Then, yeah, basically your name, your nationality, and your address. Then a preamble. So this preamble is just like a declaration, like the preamble of the Constitution, where you say, "We, the citizens of India, give to ourselves this patent application." Right. So basically, you declare whether yours is a provisional or a complete specification. Uh, then, what is the field of your invention? Is it a mechanical invention? Is it a chemical invention? Narrow it down to a specific field, not just mechanical or chemical. In mechanical, also narrow it down to like whatever it is, as in like something like thermal engineering or something like robotics, something like that. All right. Then the background of your invention. Background, as in what is the history of the technology, what all exists today in the market, and what problems are there, and what are the problems which your invention seeks to solve. Okay. Then the object. What is the objective of your invention? What are the problems that you're trying to actively tackle right now? Then the summary of your invention. This is basically the easiest thing to write. Basically, just a gist of everything. And this summary has to closely match what you're claiming in the claims later on. Okay. So write the claims and then summarize all of that in the summary later on. Okay. Then the brief description of the accompanying drawings. Like I've already told you, when you submit a mechanical invention, you'll have to give drawings of all the views, the top view, front view, side view, isometric view, the perspective view. And then you'll have to number the drawing properly, and then this portion, you'll have to describe what each figure mentions. What is figure one? What is figure two? What is figure three? It has to be done very clearly. Then the detailed description. Okay, this is the most important part of the application. This is where you write 3-4 pages completely about your application. Every single detail. Where your screw is placed, 5 centimeters from here, 3 centimeters from the left side, 4 centimeters depth, this much thickness, this is placed here. What is the function of each attribute? Basically, this is the thesis of your whole application. This detailed description has to be extremely detailed. Okay. The word detailed itself has to be taken very seriously, because if your description is not detailed enough, as in it does not enable a person skilled in the art to recreate an invention. So if I make an invention, my description should be so good that another engineer in my field should be able to read that and rebuild my invention from scratch. That's how good this description has to be. Okay, that is the enablement requirement of any application. Then you write the heart and soul of the patent application itself, the claims, because if it's not in the claims, it's not going to be protected. So whatever you're claiming to protect in your invention falls in the claims. Okay. And then lastly, basically this marks the boundaries of the patent. So you can't claim anything which is beyond the claims, and everything which falls within the claims will definitely be protected. Okay. So basically these claims have to satisfy every test: novelty, inventive step, industrial capability, and uh, pass the tests of section 3 and section 4. And lastly, the abstract. Okay. So the abstract is kind of rubbish. It has to be within 150 words. And it's basically the summary itself rewritten in a different voice. So if you write this in active voice, write this in passive voice. Suppose I say Virat Kohli hit a century in Eden Gardens, say that in Eden Gardens, Virat Kohli scored a ton. Okay, just rephrase the summary, you get the abstract. Thing is, abstract has to be within 150 words. So abstract, why you need this is, it's like your advertisement pamphlet. So when people are searching for your invention on the InPass website, on the IP India website, they'll see your title. If it's something that interests them, they'll read your abstract. And if anything matches in the abstract, only then will they open all this, okay, the complete specs itself. So the abstract has to clearly indicate what your invention is about. You can't completely beat around the bush. Reveal how much ever you need to. Don't go too much also. Don't shoot yourself in the foot, and don't try to attract unnecessary attention, okay? So keep it in a careful balance of ambiguous and clear also. So keep it in a proper distance. That's about it. So all this you guys will have to write in the paper itself. Okay, you'll have to write this for 2 questions. So I know it looks like a lot to remember, but there is a mnemonic for this. So how you remember this is title, applicant, preamble. Okay, TA pre. So it's chai tapri. Okay, tapri, and then FBOS is fuck your boss. Okay, it's recorded, I know, but can't help it. So F your boss. That's the second part. And then think of a cricket match between Bangladesh and Australia. Okay. So BD is Bangladesh versus cricket Australia. So how you remember this is chai tapri, F your boss, and then Bangladesh versus cricket Australia. So title, abstract, preamble, field, background, object, summary, and lastly, brief description of the accompanying drawings. This you'll know. When the second you see B, you'll know it's a brief description of the drawings. Then detailed description versus CA would be claims and abstract. Okay, so this is how you remember it. You'll have to write this for both the answers. Moving on. Just a basic idea of what each thing is, and then we'll go over an entire example. Okay, so title is, don't be too narrow in the invention's title also. Don't be too specific, because that could screw you over in the longer run. So you can, I'll take questions at the end of this. So just a moment. So don't be too narrow in the invention's title. Keep it broad, but not too broad also. If it's way too vague and ambiguous, then you will not get an invention. You'll not get the patent granted. Okay. Suppose I'm filing an application for this laptop. I cannot file electronic device. That's too broad. Okay. But I can't make it too narrow. So I can't say Lenovo laptop with a 4 HD processor with a 13 GB hard drive. That's too specific. Okay, don't be too ambiguous, don't be too specific, keep it in a careful balance. Although the title should sufficiently indicate the subject matter of the invention. Less than 15 words. Okay, so a bottle could be a device for holding water. Okay, or a compact water holding device, or a portable device for storing water, or even instead of device, you can use the word apparatus, a portable apparatus for storing water. Okay, so I am indicating what it is. It is a water, it's pretty much a water bottle, but I'm keeping the room open for me to create modifications in this bottle, because just for a water bottle, you will not get a patent. So I'm creating an ambiguous enough title where I have the room, breathing space to create more innovation, to create an inventive step in this invention itself. So don't keep it too broad, don't make it too narrow. Yes, any doubts? I heard a hand raise. That's right. Yep. Nothing. Okay, I'll move on. Cool. So as I explain each part of the application, I'll show you an example. So this application I've taken from the IP India website. It's actually a very cute invention. It's about a chair. Okay. So as we go through the application, you'll understand what the invention itself is. And it's a amazing invention. Like, it's a very new application also. It was filed just now. And something to note would be it's filed by Khurana and Khurana by Mr. Tarun Khurana himself, the pretty much the owner of the firm itself. Okay, so this is pretty much a proper example of what an application should be, and it's pretty simple also, because this was the inventors are engineering students from Sharda University. Okay, so that pretty much covers the acknowledgement. So this is how it has to be. Okay, this you will have to write even in the patent agent exam. Start with form number 2. They expect you to write all this: the Patents Act 1970, 39 of 1970, and the Patent Rule 2003 complete specification. If it is a provisional specs, you'll have to write provisional specification, see sections 10 and rule 13. Okay, this is what you will have to start your answer with always. Okay, mug it up. I don't know how you guys are going to do it. Spend the next 2-3 days just reading this again and again, mug it up and write this. Okay, start your answer like this. And then title of the invention, multi-purpose chair. Okay, so they have not made the invention's title too narrow. It's again not too broad also. It's kind of, you understand that it's relating to a chair and different facilities that the chair is going to offer. Cool. So write it like this only. Form 2, write number 1, title of the invention, multi-purpose chair. You will have to copy this exact, okay, in the answer. Moving on. Next, the applicant details, right? Chai tapri, title, applicant details. So number 2, applicant or applicants, the name, the nationality, and the address. So don't write any name of yours. Just write, personally, I wrote ABC, XYZ country, and then 123, comma, make up your own address, comma, 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 India. All right. Then preamble to the description, mug this up. Okay. Learn this by heart, learn this clause by heart. So write complete specification or provisional specification here. Then the following specification particularly describes the invention and the manner in which it is to be performed. Okay. This is like a golden clause that you'll use in every single form that you file in your life. So learn this by heart. Okay. So this following specification particularly describes the invention and the manner in which it is to be performed. Cool. So till here, you'll have to mug it up. No go. Starting from here is where the fun starts. Okay. So chai tapri is over. Now we have F boss. So F is for field, right? So field is nothing. You just write one more sentence. I'll show it in the next slide about what the field of your invention is. Coming to background. So the background is typically the prior art. So prior art as in the history of your invention. What is the other technology which is already there? What other kind of chairs exist already in the market, right? Disclosed by the inventor. Then should be fairly short and merely set the stage for the technical disclosure to be provided in the detailed description. Again, this is, don't reveal your magic trick already. Just set the stage, build the suspense, okay? Then the background section could describe the prior art at a very high level. Go into detail, right? Exactly what the previous engine did, what the fuel injectors did, and what is the problem that exists, and what is the problem that you are seeking to solve, right? And it's one of the least important parts of the application, as in the examiner is not going to strike it out because of this. So just stick to it. Basically, they'll expect you to have the proper prior art listed. If it's not, they'll mention it and you'll have to include it later on, but it's again not too strict. Okay. So basically the field, that is the, after the third one, the fourth one would be the technical field. Okay. So from here on, note that you'll have to list out the paragraph numbers from here. It will be continuous till the end of the application. Paragraph 1 to how much ever it goes. Okay. Even if the next sector starts, as in after field background starts, the paragraph number will continue. Okay. And in each page of your answer sheet, you'll have to number the lines. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10. Okay. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15. So just write 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 everywhere, because this is the format of the pretty much of form 2, right? So you guys will have to stick to that. That's about it. Okay. So field, what it says, the present disclosure relates to the field of furniture. Very narrow. They're not trying to play around. They have kept it vague. Okay. Not too close also, not too broad also. That's about it. Then background, the following description includes information that may be useful. So they've just given a disclaimer. This is not needed. Somehow, if you have time and if you have the memory of a genius, you can mug it up and write it. Not really needed at all. I personally did not write this at all. Just start writing the background. Okay. So chairs serve as an essential seating option that aim to provide comfort. So pretty much what have they done? They've just defined what is a chair, right? And support to individuals in various settings and activities. Then now listen to what they're saying. They're saying that traditional armchairs are known for their stationary nature. So they're talking about normal armchairs that you sit on. Cool. On the other hand, rocking chairs offer a unique and rhythmic rocking motion. So you can already understand in the background, they're talking about armchairs and they're talking about rocking chairs. So you can already assume that they're going to try and combine both of them. Okay, let's see how they do it in this invention. So I've added 2 more paragraphs. Like I said, keep the paragraph flowing. Okay, do not start fresh each time, because at the end of the application, you'll have to have a continuous number of paragraphs. Cool. So number 4, while both armchairs and rocking chairs have their merits, their distinct functionalities often pose limitations for the users. So now they're listing out what are the problems existing in the market today. Okay, individuals are forced to choose between static comfort and a soothing motion of a rocking chair. So you'll either have to pick an armchair or a rocking motion. This is the problem. So how will you solve this problem? Right. So there is therefore a need in the art for a chair that combines the benefits of both armchairs and rocking chairs. So you guys got a clear idea of what is the background, right? You explain what is the existing prior art, what is lacking, what is the problem, and what are you looking to solve in the future. Cool. That is the background. So chai tapri is over. F boss, right? So F field is over, background is over. Next, object, right? So follow continuous paragraph numbers. Then the object is, what is the problem that is being solved by your invention? Okay. And what is the intended goal of the invention? So how it starts is you write objects of the invention. Then the paragraph numbers are continuing. Number 6, some of the objects of the present disclosure, which at least one embodiment herein satisfies are as listed here in below. So again, no pressure for you to mug this up, not needed. Just write one line saying that the following are the objects of the present disclosure, and start writing what are the objects, and write it in this format. An object of the present disclosure is to, and then write what is the objective of your invention. Again, when you write the other set of objects, always write it is another object of the present disclosure to, and then it is another object of the present disclosure to, to X, and then it is another object of the present disclosure to do Y. Okay, so all the objectives listed like this, one after the other. So first, what is it saying? An object of the present disclosure is to provide a chair that enables users to effortlessly transition between an armchair and a rocking chair. So they've given you a chair which can be an armchair and a rocking chair. Okay, then the next objective is to provide a chair with an ergonomic design. So ergonomic is something which fits the human body's features, as in like a mouse which is shaped to hold my thumb and my fingers. Okay, something which is designed to house the human body properly. So it is something which gives you a lot of comfort. Then it is another objective to provide a chair where the frame is constructed using teak wood. Again, I don't know if this is a good objective to write, but okay, cool. And lastly, they say something which is resistant to natural weather, which has natural weather resistance. So I'm assuming it has a varnish coating and stuff like that, which protect it from moisture. Okay, so yeah, till here, any doubts till the object? I think it's very straightforward, right? Any questions? Taushik, is everything clear till here? Kaushik has fallen asleep. Chalo, Subramaniam, is everything clear till here?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on then. So next, coming to what did we discuss? Chai Tapri, title, applicant, preamble, then F boss, right? So field, background, object, and S is for summary. So summary has to, like I told you, it has to mirror the claims and highlight the important aspects of the invention using words drawn from the applicant's claims. Again, pretty much that. Okay, so what are the summary that they have written? So they say various aspects of the present disclosure relate to the field of furniture. Again, they have mentioned what they mentioned in the background. So summary is basically just that, a summary of your entire application. So talk about armchair, talk about rocking chair, and say that we want to increase the flexibility, the comfort, the stability, and we want to allow users to enjoy both the benefits. And then talk about the other features, the detachable cushions, the robust construction, everything which is there in the claims, rewrite it here in the summary. Okay, so give some space for summary, write the claims, and then come back for this. Okay, leave like around 3/4 of a page to 1 page. My handwriting is very small, so I leave very less space. So based on your handwriting, leave that much space. Okay, let it be around 200 words, not more than that. Cool. So summary is very basic, just a summary. So Tapri is over, F boss is over, and then lastly Bangladesh and Cricket Australia, right? So B is for brief description of the accompanying drawing. So summary is continuing. So always use these words in the summary. Never refer to your invention as just your cycle or your chair or your car. Always say the present disclosure. Always use the phrase the present disclosure or use the word the present invention. An embodiment of the present disclosure pertains to a chair. So I circled this just so that you know what the words you need to use are. Okay, so try and use these words. So again, they've explained basically what it does. So how they're explaining how it happens. How do you convert the chair into a rocking chair? So basically, the whole frame is flipped, and then the cushions are replaced on the top. So it becomes a armchair, and then when you flip it open, flip it upside down, it becomes a rocking chair. So they've explained how it happens. Okay, so all this goes in the summary. And I want you to note that the page number, the line numbers are written on the side of every page. So whenever you start the next page, write down this also: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Cool. So my handwriting is very small. It will go till 40, 45. Maybe yours might go only till 20. Cool. So then after F boss, it's B, right? Bangladesh. So brief description of the drawings. So here again, a disclaimer is there over here. So if you can write it, write it. Not really relevant. So you can just say that the brief description of the drawings are as follows. Figure 1 illustrates a perspective view of an exemplary chair. So perspective view is from an angle, okay, from the top right, okay. So I can't explain it to you. I'll show you the example next. And then figure 2 is a perspective view of the frame. Then figure 3 is a perspective view of the chair when it is utilized as a rocking chair. And then figure 4 is when it's used as an armchair. So stuff like this, okay. So list out all the figures which are there as part of the question paper. Very simple, nothing much, nothing too complicated. Stick to the paragraph numbers also. See, it's continuing 19, 20, 21, 22. Cool. So I have attached a few examples of the images. There are more images. I've just put in the most important ones. So figure 1 shows when the chair is a normal chair. Okay, so here it's not going to rock because the base is flat. So when I sit on it, it's a normal armchair. But what I'll do is I'll take off the cushions. I'll turn this whole frame upside down, and then I'll put the cushions on the other side. Okay, so when I turn the frame upside down, the base is curved. So now it's going to be a rocking chair, and now I put the cushions on top. So now it's a rocking chair. Okay, so the pretty much the inventive step here is the cushions are interchangeable, and you can utilize the same frame as an armchair and a rocking chair. So it's a fantastic invention, super ingenious, and very simple also. So I was searching for a few inventions for you guys. I thought I'll scare you with some complex engines, but I thought, chalo, let's take a simple one. Okay. So even in your figures, basically, even in the question paper, every single portion will be numbered properly. Think of your physics record from school. Every portion has to be numbered, right? Everything has to be labeled. Think of a more strict version of that. 108A, 120, 108B, stuff like this. And note this number, because whenever you mention this in your application also, mention the number also. I'll give you an example of this when I show it to you in the detailed description. Okay. So whenever you write seat cushion, write seat cushion in brackets 114, so that the examiner is absolutely clear what you're talking about. Okay. So here, see, the top seat cushion is called 114, and then the bottom seat cushion is called 116, so that there is no confusion for the examiner when he's checking your application. Have separate numbers and mention the number each time, so that there is no ambiguity later on. Okay. So number of each part to be mentioned in the detailed description and the claims properly. Okay. Do not miss this. Yeah. So till the B Bangladesh part is done, right? So brief description of the accompanying drawings is done. After detailed description, I'll take doubts. Okay. So detailed description, like I told you, it's like the PhD thesis of your application. It has to be very detailed. It breathes lives into the claims and provides a sufficient explanation of the invention for an ordinary person skilled in the art to make and understand the invention. This is called as enablement. Where an other engineer reading my detailed description, he should be able to recreate the whole invention. Okay. It has to be that detailed. Next, he can't do it. That's illegal because your patent protects that. But even though others can't copy it, it has to be this detailed so that the public knows what you're trying to protect. Okay. Then the detailed description section must be closely tied to the drawings. Of course, you can't have drawings of a laptop and then claim a mobile phone in your detailed description. It has to match what you're claiming in the drawings. Okay. Then this section cannot be substantively amended once the application has been filed. So be very careful. When you file the provisional specs, don't try to narrow it down too much also, because you can't amend it too much later on. Okay. So suppose I file an application for a bus. Later on, I can't come and say it's a scooter now. Okay. Maximum the bus can become a tempo traveler. You can't change it so much that it becomes a scooter later on. Okay. So an example, the continuing detailed description from the application itself is, again, this portion is the disclaimer. Okay. You don't have to mug it up. Basically, just say that the detailed description is as follows. And I think what they've written is, in the following description, numerous specific details are set forth in order to provide a thorough understanding of the embodiments of the present invention. It will be apparent to one skilled in the art that embodiments of the present invention may be practiced without some of these specific details. So again, this is all just legal process. Once you become an advocate, just cut paste this. But apart from that, if you can write it, amazing. I wrote it in my first attempt. It's not worth it. They do not give you marks for this. I did not do very well in paper 2. I did pass, but they gave me very less in the paper. So not really needed, not worth your time. Okay, because let me tell you, paper 2, there's not enough time to write, because there's so much you have to write and you have to write for 2 applications. Okay, so just write a very quick disclaimer and then start writing about your detailed description. So I just attached what is there. Don't have to read it in detail. So see, as illustrated, a chair 100. So all these numbers are from the diagrams. So frame assembly 102. Okay, seat cushion 114. Back cushion 116. Okay, so that there is no ambiguity later on. Every number has to be mentioned in your detailed description. Okay, so start explaining everything in your invention over here. So let me give you a very good hack over here. Copy the exact question in the answer sheet. Okay, so whatever is there in the question, of course, do it intelligently. Don't blindly just copy paste whatever is there in the question paper. Read it, understand it, and then rephrase it over there. Okay, very quickly. Don't waste time. As you're reading the question, only start writing the detailed description. Okay, it's nothing complicated. It's quite simple. Okay, so moving on. So then they talk about all the other parts, 110A, 110B. See, they're speaking about the distance also, 294 mm. Then the 104, 100 mm between these two arms, between arm support 108A and 108B is 100 mm. So it has to be very detailed. Okay, I think they have added one more line. I've just highlighted it so that you guys can read. It should be apparent to those skilled in the art that many more modifications besides those already described are possible without departing from the inventive concepts herein. Okay, so based on the background, I can assume that they're talking about the teak wood, right? That the chair is made out of teak wood. So they're saying that it's kind of apparent that even though we have not mentioned it, of course, this can be remade in plastic also. Of course, you don't have to have this safety armrest on this side. You can move it to that side also. So this is making it clear that other modifications also are possible. Okay, it's kind of more broader than what we're just claiming here. Okay, so this is something a little more advanced when you guys are learning stuff about doctrine of equivalence. So if I ever do give you guys a super advanced course in patents, I'll cover that. But apart from that, this is again a disclaimer. You can include it if you can remember it. If not an issue at all. Doesn't add to your marks. So that part is the detailed description. Any doubts till here? Cool. I think we're going very steadily, right, in a very structured manner. Nothing to worry about. So we've already covered Chai Tapri, title, applicant, preamble, then F boss, so field, background, object, summary, and then lastly Bangladesh, Cricket, Australia. So Bangladesh was brief description of the accompanying drawings and detailed description, BD, and then AC is left, right? CA, Cricket, Australia. So C is for claims, A is for abstract. So claims, I'll be explaining it again properly how to write the claims because this is where you'll get your marks. So all the rest of the rubbish, they'll only see if you have an idea of it. Claims are what will get you marks. So focus on this. I'll explain. I'll be covering it in detail little after this, but just to get an idea of what claims are. So in the claims also, avoid abstract language. Okay, be very clear on what you're trying to protect. So even in your property paper about your house, you won't say that some building in Rajarajeshwari Nagar in Rajendra Nagar I'm talking about. No, right? You'll be very clear. What is the number? What is the address? What is the dimension? So be very clear in your claims also. Attempt to secure the broadest possible claim coverage. Again, being a good lawyer, you'll have to try and get the max coverage for your client, right? So apart from that, don't try to go for too broad also. It'll be struck out as being too broad. So again, have to find the careful balance. This will come only with years of practice. Cool. So independent claim is the broadest and subsequent dependent claims are narrower. I'll explain to you what are independent and dependent claims. Nothing to break your head too much on because they'll expect you to write only 2 claims in the question paper. Okay. Very easy, super fast. You guys can get it done. Should not contain statements relating to the commercial advantages or other non-technical matters, although statements of purpose are allowed when they assist in defining the invention. Very clearly, I'll tell you what it is. Should not contain statements relating to commercial advantages. Don't say in your claims that it's the fastest printer in the market. Nobody gives a shit about that. Okay. Don't advertise your product in the claims. Claims have to be very strict. Just say that your invention is this. So this is the dimension, this is the composition, and this is what you're trying to protect. Simple. Okay. Don't try to tell it's the fastest, the most efficient, landmark, this thing is the best, latest, none of that rubbish. No superlatory terms. Then, or other non-technical matters. Again, don't praise your invention. Don't talk about random rubbish. Okay. Statements of purpose are allowed. As in, if you're saying that the intended purpose of this is to be utilized as a mode of relaxation, or something to be utilized by students in a school, right? Or for people to sit on in vehicles. So for a chair, right? That's what I'm talking about. So purpose is allowed in a claim. Okay. Nothing to worry about. All this is very advanced. You guys don't have to worry too much about this. So just to give you an idea of what are claims. Okay. And lastly, about the abstract, not too important at all. Maximum of is 150 words. Just copy whatever you've written in the summary, just rephrase it. Okay. Instead of writing Vishnu is giving a G meet, say that I attended a G meet given by Mr. Vishnu. Okay. Just rephrase it a bit. So describe the invention very clearly in the fewest possible words. Concise summary of the matter contained in the specification, indicating the technical field, the advancement as compared to the existing knowledge, and the principal use of the invention. So basically everything conveyed in a gist of 150 words. So you could use a version of the summary of your invention itself as the abstract. Okay, just rephrase it. That's about it for the abstract.
So,
Go on.
Vishnu, so just a brief rephrasing of the summary is required to be mentioned in abstract.
Yes,
I think
that's about it. Okay. So the problem is you'll have to write a lot in this whole paper. So write very fast, and I'll say focus more on writing more. Okay. They give you marks when you write more. That's about it. So yeah, pretty much that. So an example of the abstract from this only, multi-purpose chair. We'll read it slowly. Okay. So even in the abstract, you have to put the numbers. So they've written abstract, start with the title again, multi-purpose chair, a chair number 100 that offers versatile functionality. Versatile is something that can be utilized in many ways, as both an armchair and a rocking chair is described. Cool. The chair includes a frame assembly number 102 with a support structure 104 designed to receive and secure a seat cushion and a back cushion. So numbers are missing, right? Seat cushion was 114, back cushion was 116 on either a top side or a bottom side of the support structure. So you guys can clearly understand that. Suppose I'm an inventor and I'm searching on the website. By reading these 4 lines, I have an idea of what the invention already is. I'll already know that he's invented a new kind of frame which can be flipped upside down. Okay. So this is how good the abstract has to be. Within 3 to 4 lines, you should understand the invention. Then again, they're talking about the side arm support, the front arm support, the 2 support members. Not really needed. Cool. Included. The arm support exhibits a curved shape while the base support is positioned horizontally. So the second you read this, you can already imagine what the invention looks like. Cool. To transform the chair into a rocking chair, the frame assembly can be flipped. Cool. I have understood the invention completely now. In this flipped position, the arm support of the first side frame and the second side frame act as the rockers of the frame assembly. So when they say when you flip it, the side rest that you had, the armrests become the rocking part of the chair itself. Cool. Perfect. So this is like the most perfect abstract you can write. And I don't even think this is 150 words. I think this is around 70 words and beautifully written. Okay. You cannot write a better abstract than this. Fantastic job on this. Okay. So pretty much we are done till here. Okay. So we have covered the whole application. Till here, nothing to learn. I just want you guys to know the format. Okay. Chai Tapri, title, applicant, preamble, then F boss, so field, background, object, summary, then Bangladesh, cricket, Australia, right? So you guys can of course form new mnemonics later on. So Bangladesh should be brief description of the accompanying drawings. D would be detailed description, and then CA would be claims and abstract. Cool. Moving on. So the most important part of your application is the claims. Okay. So even the detailed description, they know that you're going to cut paste from the question paper itself. So the claims are where you set yourself apart. This is where you get your marks. Okay. The 50 marks come from here only. So how do you write the claims? That's what I'm going to teach you in a very simple way. Of course, I cannot teach you claim drafting entirely, but a good understanding that you guys can replicate in the exam itself. Okay. So I've already explained this invention to you guys when we covered patents basics. So imagine an invention for a robotic arm. Okay. So this robotic arm has three components: a torque sensor, a motion tracker, and a vibration canceller. Okay, so these are three components. And so a claim always starts with I or V claim. So if it's only a single applicant, I claim. If it's multiple applicants, V claim. Then you have claim one, claim two, claim three. Okay, X, Y, Z. And lastly, I've already told you that each claim exists independently of the other claims. Okay, so each claim will be investigated properly. Each claim they'll check: is there novelty, is there inventive step, is there industrial capability, and if any of the claims fails, that claim will be struck out. Okay, even if claim two is struck out, as in motion tracker has been found that it's not novel, it's not inventive, and claim two is struck out, claim one and claim three will still exist. Okay, so it doesn't mean that novelty or inventive step of these two claims are affected, only this is struck out. Okay, so very simple. What I want to tell you is there are two types of claims. Okay, independent claims and dependent claims. There's no need for you guys to clearly understand what these mean. So basically an independent claim is a claim which is completely fresh. Okay, a new claim. As in, suppose I write this claim, a claim one for the torque sensor. Okay, so I write a torque sensor composed of this. I explain the features. Okay, and then claim number two, I add some other features to the torque sensor. Okay, so it's not a new claim, right? I'm referring back to the older claim. So it's a claim which is depending on the previous claim. Okay, so very simple. An independent claim is a fresh claim, like when I use the word a torque sensor. And then when I refer to some other claim which is referring back to this claim, that would be a dependent claim. Okay, so in your independent claim, of course, logically also you'll try to make it very broad, and then your dependent claim gets narrower and narrower and narrower as it goes on. Okay, pretty simple. Don't have to learn it at all for this exam. Just gave you an idea of what independent and dependent claims are. Okay, so now we come to claim drafting. Very simple. I'll give you guys a break because I've fed you guys a lot of matter. So just take 5 minutes and we'll start again at 10:45. Okay, 10:45 sharp. I'll start again about how to draft the claims itself. And you guys can think of any doubts, discuss something, and get back to me. Cool. Right, I'm back. So if you guys have any doubts, I won't start till 10:45. So any doubts till here? Is it clear?
One doubt.
Go on.
In few places, I'll type it out. I think I can't talk for long. I'll type it out.
Sure. So this is the problem. See, South Indians can't take that cold. Like even I struggled last year. So it's too cold. And it's more than the cold, it's actually the weather change, actually. The kind of extremes, because it's cold at night and hot during the day. So the weather change kind of screws you up. And we all went cycling last year, like in the night. For some reason in the cold, I put on my t-shirt, only my t-shirt, and I went for a cycle and gone. Yeah. At certain areas, information given is repetitive. Chalo, he's roasting me now. Oh, regarding the application, right. Yeah. So information is very repetitive in the application. Yeah. No doubt about it. So they expect you to write everything again and again. So even if you intern at a lawyer's office and you go through any property document, they write everything 20 times just so that there is no confusion later on.
Okay.
Every time they'll say this person, son of this person, wife of that person, granddaughter of this person, just so that there is no confusion. That's it. So yeah, mention it again and again. It's definitely very repetitive. So this is a very beautiful application, actually, like fantastically drafted. And lucky for you guys, I was able to find it. I thought I'll scare you with one of the software applications. But anyway, so it's 10:45. Let's get on with it. Okay. So nothing to understand too much in independent dependent claims. So like I said, independent claim is when it's claiming something fresh. Dependent is when the claim is depending on a previous claim. Okay. So why is this relevant is when you're, suppose the examiner strikes out an independent claim, naturally every other claim which is depending on it will also automatically get struck out. Okay. So that's something very logical, nothing to really know for this exam itself. Okay. So claim drafting. So like I already told you, you start with I claim or we claim. Okay. Next, each claim is written in one single sentence. Do not be misguided by this. Although I say single sentence, it will look like a paragraph. Okay. Because the same sentence is like at least 100 words. Okay. It's a very long sentence. So each claim is kind of long. So written in one single sentence and ending with a full stop. So all claims have to end with a full stop, and claims have to be numbered properly. So claim one, it has to end with a full stop. Claim two, it has to end with a full stop. Till you put the full stop, the claim continues. Okay. So why this rule came into play is to keep things clear so that there is no ambiguity later on. So they want you to write in serial numbers so that it's very clear what your invention is. So every time when you take out an invention, read the title, read the abstract, and then read the claims. Once you read the claims, you'll know exactly what the invention is. Okay. Even if the abstract is not enough, even if the title is not enough, the claims will exactly tell you what it is. So the claim also has three parts. Okay. A claim contains a preamble, a transitional phrase, and a body. Okay. Listen, pay attention over here. Be very focused. Okay. So cool. So preamble is an introductory phrase that identifies the category of the invention. Okay. So what this means is, what is your invention? Pretty much put your title there. That is the preamble. Okay. So in this invention, it would be a multiplayer and a multi-purpose chair. Okay. And keep it consistent with the title of the invention. Don't try and match that only. Don't try and write something new over here. Okay. So your preamble is pretty much your title itself. So suppose it's a spade. Okay. A digging tool. So a soil digging device or a water storing device. Suppose it's a water bottle. Just copy the title again. That is your preamble. Okay. So in this case, it would be a multi-purpose chair. So a preamble is pretty much the title written again. So this is how you start the claim. First, I claim, we claim, then your preamble, a soil digging device, because that's what you're trying to claim, right? I claim a multi-purpose chair. Cool. And then what comes? A transitional phrase. Okay. So transitional phrase would be a soil digging device comprising, or a water storing device including, or a multi-purpose chair containing. Okay. So this is just one word. Okay. This transitional phrase is just a single word. Either you can use comprising, including, containing, characterized by, consisting of. Based on what your requirement is, you can use any of these words. Okay. So this is just a single word. So a multi-purpose chair comprising, so a device for digging soil. Let's say that's my title. An apparatus for soil digging. Comprising. So this word is the transitional phrase. So it might feel very childish that I'm explaining all this in such a slow manner, but let me tell you, these are the ABCs of patent drafting. Learn this clearly. You'll never have to touch this again. Okay. Then the third thing is the body. So preamble you have seen, it's the title. The transitional phrase is a single word, either consisting, comprising, characterized by, composed of, stuff like that. And lastly, the body. So the body is the actual part where you write what all is there in your invention. Okay. It recites the elements and the limitations of the claim, and it explains how the different elements exist in relationship to one another. I'll give you an example now, and you guys will clearly understand it. So how it looks like is first the preamble. Okay. First you put the serial number, then the preamble. What is your title? A multi-purpose chair. Comprising, that is your transitional phrase. And then you put the two dots. Okay. This is called as a colon. Put these two dots and then start writing each element of the chair. So in this case, I would write the side armrest. Then I would write the base, the footrest. Then I'll write the seat cushion, then the rear seat cushion. So each element I'll list it in a separate line. Okay. So this is the first claim. So in the first claim, you explain all the parts of the invention. So the preamble first, a multi-purpose chair, comprising element 1, element 2, element 3, element 4. And right before you come to the last element, you put and the last element. Okay. So something to remember is after each element, put a semicolon. Okay. Don't put a full stop, because the second you put a full stop, the claim ends. Okay. So don't put a full stop. Always put semicolons or commas. Okay. So semicolon, like if you've done C programming in computer science, every line ends with a semicolon. So you can use that to remember. And indentation for the elements, as in like give a little bit of space here. Okay. Don't write over here only. Again, they're not going to cut marks. These are all good practices to have. Okay. So just give some space and write element 1, element 2, element 3. Suppose there is a sub element to element 1. Give some more indentation here. Give some more space and write element 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, stuff like that, and go on. Okay. Put only semicolons and add and before the penultimate element. Penultimate is the second last element. So right before you come to the last one, just put an and so that the examiner knows you have reached the end. And then put a full stop to finish. Okay. This is the entire skeleton of a claim. And I know it might look something very artificial and unnatural. When you see the examples, it becomes very clear. Okay. Something very basic. Just so that you guys understand it properly, I've explained it in a very diagrammatic manner. Okay. So I claim or we claim, put these two dots. Okay. I claim, then the colon, then number 1, claim number 1, a portable apparatus for reading. Okay. So pretty much the invention is a book. Okay. So I've just given a very quirky title that looks new and has novelty. So a portable apparatus for reading, comma, comprising. This is the transitional phrase. This was the preamble. Put the two dots, colon, then the elements. Okay. So give a little bit of space here, and then a plurality of printed pages. Okay. So a book has a lot of pages, right? So instead of writing it has many pages, always use this word plurality in all your applications. Okay. Suppose you have a windmill with a lot of rotors, lot of spinning blades. Don't say it has many spinning blades. Don't say a windmill comprising many spinning blades, right? A windmill comprising a plurality of spinning blades. Okay. These are all legal language. It's expected you guys to write. It's expected that you guys write this. Okay. A plurality of printed pages, semicolon, a binding configured to hold the printed pages together, semicolon, and a cover attached to the binding, full stop. So I've written and before the penultimate element. So what have I described here? It's pretty much a book. Okay. So I wrote this claim just so that you guys get a clear idea of what a claim should look like. One more example. I or we claim, colon, two dots. Number 1. So this is a pencil which has a light attached to it. Okay. 1, a multi-purpose pencil. Okay. This was my title. This is the preamble again, comma, consisting of, instead of writing comprising, characterized by, stuff like that, consisting of, again, two dots, colon, the elements, a pencil, semicolon, an eraser attached to the pencil, semicolon, and a light attached to the pencil. Okay. Very simple, nothing complicated. Preamble, transitional phrase, and each of the elements in the body. Okay. So this is pretty much a pencil. You have seen the Nataraj pencils, right? There's a pencil, there's an eraser attached to this end. So my only new invention is I've attached a light also. So now even in the dark, I can just turn on the light and continue writing. That's my invention. Okay. So this is how you write the claim for that. Then let's say it's a process. Okay. I/we claim a method for making tea. So it's a process patent. So I've invented a new way to make tea now. So a method for making tea. This is copied straight from the title. Then the method comprising. So you can't just write comprising because it's not a product. So the method comprising, colon, again, two dots. Again, I've written I or we claim. Boiling water, semicolon. Adding sugar to the boiling water, semicolon. Adding tea leaves to the boiling water to form a mixture, semicolon. Adding milk to the mixture, semicolon. And filtering the mixture. So in a process patent, you list out all the processes. Okay, each step of the process you list, because you can't write the elements in a process, right? In a product, you can write what is element 1, 2, 3, but in a process, you write each of the steps. Okay, you will not get a process patent. I just gave you guys so that you completely understand what we're talking about. Okay. Then the last thing we're going to talk about before I show you the claims of the invention itself is called something called antecedent basis. Okay. Suppose the first time I'm referring to something, I'll use the word as in, like, suppose I'm telling you about my mobile phone. Okay. So let me show you what it is only. First time the element is introduced, you use the word or you use an. Okay. You'll say a mobile phone, an apple. Okay. In the elements. Then the second time you refer to the same mobile phone, you won't say a mobile phone because you've already introduced it, right? Next time you'll say the mobile phone or said mobile phone when you use it later on in the claims. Okay. Just a very quick example so that you understand what I mean is, I claim, we claim, okay, colon, two dots. Claim number one, a multi-purpose pencil consisting of a pencil. So it's the first time I'm talking about a pencil, right? So I put a pencil because it's a new element that I'm introducing only now. A pencil, an eraser. So again, it's a new element. So or an. So an because e is a vowel. So an eraser attached to the pencil. Okay. So this pencil that I'm talking about a new eraser which is going to be attached to this pencil only. So a pencil, an eraser attached to the pencil, and a light. So it's a new element again. A light attached to the pencil. So if I write the word a pencil here, the examiner will think you're talking about a second pencil. Okay. And if you write a pencil again here, he'll think it's a third pencil. Just so that it's clear. The first time you introduce an element, you use a. After that, every time you refer to the same element, you'll use the word the. Okay. Some places they use said also, but you guys can stick to the. Okay. So let's say I write a claim number 2 also. Okay. I've written a second claim also for this pencil with the light. So first claim is this. Second claim, it's a dependent claim because I'll be referring to claim number 1. So number 2, claim number 2, the multi-purpose pencil, because here I've already introduced a multi-purpose pencil. Okay, so this has been introduced already. So after this, I'll say the multi-purpose pencil as claimed in claim 1, because I'm referring to this, it's a dependent claim, wherein the light, because this light that I'm talking about is detachably attached to the pencil. So I already told you, right? Claim 1 will have all the features. Then the subsequent claims will have all the terms and conditions, all the nitty-gritties, all the advanced details. So here, claim 1, I've introduced the pencil, all the elements of the pencil itself, the eraser and the light. And then claim number 2, I'm saying the light is detachable. So I'll attach it to my pencil. When I don't need it, I'll detach it. Maybe I can attach the light on a different pencil, or I'll change the cell in it. Okay. All that is irrelevant. So what I'm trying to make you guys understand, when you introduce it, you use the, subsequently you use the. So even in the previous 2 examples I've given you guys, I have done this. Okay. So see here also, a portable apparatus for reading, simple, comprising a plurality of printed pages. So anytime after this, if I refer to a plurality of printed pages, it'll always be the. So next claim, if I talk about it again, I'll say the plurality of printed pages containing ink. Okay, but that's later on. So similarly, a plurality of printed pages, a binding. So even this is a new element configured to hold the printed pages together, because I've already introduced printed pages here. So here it is, the printed pages. Again, it has to be the plurality of printed pages. It's incorrect here. And a cover attached to the binding, because a binding has already been introduced here, right? So the binding. Okay, since it has already been introduced. Same thing here, pencil, I've already explained it. And even here for tea, see, a method for making tea, boiling water, adding sugar to the boiling water, which is already introduced, then adding tea leaves to the boiling water to form a mixture, and then a mixture becomes the mixture. Okay, and then the mixture, filtering the mixture, because it has already come into play. Cool. So this is antecedent basis. Any doubts here? I think I've explained it very slowly and steadily, right? Any doubts? Uttam, anything?
No, Vishnu, it's all clear. Antecedent part and
Yes.
the
Saptarishi,
subsequent
anything?
usage.
I'm assuming no, right? Cool. So moving on. So like I already told you guys, this would be an independent claim. This would be a dependent claim. Okay. Because here I'm introducing a new element, and here I'm referring to the older claim. So the multi-purpose pencil as claimed in claim 1. Okay. So this is the basic of claim drafting. We'll see how it has been drafted in the present application. Okay. So again, here they've written we claim, because they're talking about Sharda University, right? So we claim number 1, a chair, number 100. again, this is a nitty gritty. So it's better if you write the title itself. So a multi-purpose chair comprising, this is the transitional phrase, colon, two dots. Okay. Now they list out all the elements. So a frame assembly 102, further comprising. So again, they're giving the advanced details. You guys don't have to worry about all this. Don't try and overcomplicate your application. So in the frame assembly, they're talking about more additional elements, a support structure, but forget that. So a frame assembly 102, a side frame 106A, and I think one more item, right? It keeps going. So wherein, yeah. So what they've done is they've introduced only two components. They've introduced a support structure and they've introduced a frame, a first side frame. Okay. So I just want you guys to note how to write this. Once you introduce an element, write the number also based on the diagram. Always list the numbers. So even here, see, a second side frame 106p. Here they've put the number. Here they have not numbered it. See, the second side frame. So it has, this is an incorrect error. The examiner will ask you to correct all this. Okay, so this is an error that I found. So whenever you claim the elements, always list the number. Okay, I know this claim looks very complex as compared to what I already showed you guys, but don't worry, it's pretty much the basics only. Okay, they have again listed a chair from the title, comprising, which is the transitional phrase, and then the elements for the body. Okay, here what they've done is they've listed two elements only, the frame assembly itself and then a first side frame, and then they've added more details to it. That's it. Okay, it's pretty much the same thing, and that's about it. Then claim number 2, always list your claims. Okay, claim 1, claim 2, claim 3, and then claim 2, they say the chair. See, a chair became the chair because you already introduced the chair, right? So the chair as claimed in claim 1, wherein the seat cushion and the back cushion, you need to note, see, a seat cushion was listed there and then a back cushion was listed there. So the seat cushion, the back cushion are detachably secured to the support structure. Okay, so they're giving more details to all the elements which have already been introduced in claim number 1. Again, there is a mistake here. You need to list out the numbers. So in your application, when you guys write the answer, seat cushion 114, back cushion 116, write the numbers. Okay, claim number 3, the chair as claimed in claim 1, wherein the frame assembly is made of teak wood. Okay, so can you notice how the claims are getting narrower and narrower? First, they only describe what is the structure. Then they said it's a detachably secured cushions on the chair. Then they're talking about it's made of teak wood. So it's getting narrower and narrower, and it gets. This is the way the claims progress. Okay, claims should be numbered and referenced properly. Cool. Moving on, the chair as claimed in claim 1, wherein to utilize the chair. Here they're explaining how the chair has to be utilized. To utilize the chair as the rocking chair, the seat cushion and the back cushion are detached from the provided support. So they explain how you make it a rocking chair. And then claim number 5, the chair as claimed in claim 1, wherein to use it as an armchair. So they're explaining how you use it as a rocking chair in claim 4, how to use it as an armchair in claim 5. Cool. Claim 6, the chair as claimed in claim 1, wherein the support structure. See, everywhere it's the. Okay, the support structure is rectangular shape comprising a base member. So they're giving little more details now. Okay, so here they're saying the support structure is rectangular, and I think in the next one they say the support structure is circular, right? Just a second. Cool, they're not talking about that. Then claim 7, they're talking about the chair as claimed in claim 1, wherein the support structure, the first side frame and the second side frame are interconnected through snap fit connections. So they're talking about how you'll connect them. Once you flip it, I guess, how do you attach the components? And then 8, the chair as claimed in claim 1, wherein the support structure, the first side frame and the second side frame are interconnected through one or more fastening means. Again, they're narrowing it down more. And then lastly, 9th one, the chair as claimed in claim 1, wherein the frame assembly further comprises a horizontal member. I think they're talking about the leg rest and the first side frame and then this thing. Okay, so a foot support. So here they're introducing the last component, a foot support. Okay, and then number it also, and then if you refer to it again in the later claim, put the foot support. Okay, so again I just put the ending. So at the end of your answer, always write for XYZ University, put your signature also, ABC, and then put your registered patent agent number also. Okay, and then the date. So this is how the application ends. So they expect you to write all of this, these formalities from when you write form number 2 till here. This is expected. Okay, so you guys don't have to write 9 claims. Your question paper will request you to write 2 claims. Okay, 2 claims are very easy. It's rubbish, and once you read the invention, you guys will understand it's something very simple. Okay, don't get confused. I broke down a proper invention so that you guys get a proper idea of what a claim draft should be. Okay, thank you guys. So we're done with a proper claim drafting. Any doubts still here? I'll show you guys the question paper after this. Any doubts?
Vishnu, is there anything by the name principal claim or primary claim?
So I think these are all interchangeably used with independent claim. Okay, so the principal claim would be the most important claim, which is the independent claim of your invention. Okay, don't try to go into the nitty gritty. It's not really relevant for you guys.
Okay. No, I was just concerned about the question, the way they will articulate the question.
Okay, so in this also,
So
don't you
they'll be
think
asking
claim number one would be the principal claim, the claim which is introducing the
principal
element?
claim.
Yeah, and then
Yes,
the
yes.
subsequent claims which are referring to claim one are all dependent claims, so they are not principal, I'll assume.
No, my point is, do the question paper ask you to provide a principal claim and
No,
an
no.
independent claim or something like
They
that?
tell you
Or they
write the
will
claims.
just
Write the claims.
write the
That's it.
claims?
Write two claims. That's it. Okay. Very
Okay.
simple. So you guys have to do just one thing. Claim one, just introduce your elements. Claim two, just write one feature. Okay. Explain the feature properly. So just to be safe, I wrote three claims. Just write one more claim also, just so that they don't think that you don't know anything else beyond that. Just write two or three claims. Okay. So I'll show you guys the question paper now. So don't get intimidated at all. This is a proper patent which is done by Mr. Tarun Kurana, the owner of Kurana and Kurana. So of course, nobody expects you guys to do this in your first drafting. So let's have a look at the question paper itself. Wait. Um, so just to show you guys an example, so this is a patent application which is filed by IIT itself. So Professor Padmavati from our school, so she has been part of the drafting over here. Same thing, form 2, complete specification, title. Just look at the title. It's a software invention. So system for fast and improved denoising and contrast enhancement of tomographic imagery and method thereof. Okay, so I thought I'll show you guys this application first. Then I felt sorry for you guys, so I took a simpler one. So multi-purpose chair is good enough, right? So this is a very complex invention. It took us itself quite a few times to read it and understand it. But in general, it's a software-based invention. It's to improve the contrast of any MRI, CRI that you get done in a lab. Okay, so don't worry about that. It's too advanced. Coming to the question paper. So paper number 2. Very simple. Part A, there is no need to discuss. Okay, so these are all just the basic questions. What is the date of filing? Again, they'll give you a small case scenario. This person wanted to file a patent on this. Is it allowed? Okay, so you guys will be able to answer that based on the other meets that we have done. Nothing complicated. Then they'll tell you there is novelty, there is no inventive step, and then they'll give you a timeline also. See, let's just see one. What would be the reasons for advising your client to file a request for early publication? Okay, so what is early publication? Form number 9. So what is the reason you'll advise your client to file early publication? Basically, when they want to bring the invention into the market fast. So for that, they'll need to get the grant fast. For you to get the grant fast, you'll need to get an expedited examination done fast. And for that, it has to be published first. So only for that, you'll need to get early publication done. Okay, so what are the advantages of waiting till 18 months for publication? So let's say you don't want to get early publication and you have to wait for 18 months. What is the advantage? So to file for early publication, you have to pay a fee. Okay, you'll have to pay some money. But if you don't pay any money, even then also automatically it's published at the end of 18 months. So you're not paying any fee. So the advantage is if you wait for 18 months, you're not paying anything extra. It happens by default of you filing the application itself. Okay, so that's the advantage. And lastly, and the other advantage I wrote in the paper was that now you have more time. There's no urgency, right? Once it's published, you're pretty screwed. After that, it's coming to the prior art, you've lost novelty now, right? So suppose you wait for 18 months, there's always time, right, for you to withdraw your application to improve your invention. So there's more breathing space for you. So that's what I wrote as the second advantage. So discuss citing the appropriate provisions under the Patent Act 1970. Again, mention the rule, the form, and then the section. Okay, rule, nobody remembers, even I don't remember. Sections, you guys know for publication, it's section 11A, I think, and then form number 9. Okay, so pretty much all the questions are like this. I personally do not have the time to go through all of this, but again, part A and part B are the same thing. Okay, part B is again this only, 3 subjective questions based on a case scenario, nothing complex. If we have time, maybe we can look at it over the following week. But coming to part C. Okay, yeah.
Vishnu, is it sufficient that we memorize only form and section?
Yeah,
No need
more
of
than enough.
rules.
More than enough. More
Okay.
than enough. Okay. So
Okay.
again, like the chart essentials. See, if you have the brain space to memorize rules, no doubt, go for it. But patent agent exam, once you clear it, nobody cares how much you got. Are you a patent agent or not? So even if you just scrape through and get 150, nobody cares. Even if you score 250 full marks, nobody cares. They're not going to give you a medal. So I'll say be smart, be efficient with your effort. Don't waste your brain space. Okay. So Part A and Part B are 50 marks. Okay, that I'm confident that you guys will be able to solve. Part C. So Part C has 2 questions. Okay, and both the questions are drafting only. One is 20 marks, one is 30 marks, and both are the same thing. Don't think 20 marks means you'll write less. They're pretty much the complete specifications for both. Okay, and they will give you options for both the questions. They'll give you a chemical invention and they'll give you a mechanical invention. And again, for part C2 also, they give you a chemical and a mechanical. Let me advise you, go for mechanical in both the aspects because it's easier to visualize, it's easier to understand. Okay, chemical, if you guys are confident and gutsy like me, you guys can go for it. But again, it's not advisable because I wasted tremendous amount of time and I didn't have time to complete it later on. But don't worry about it. Okay, so part C has 2 questions, like I told you, 2 kinds of drafting, and both the drafting you have a chemical and a mechanical. So you guys can definitely pick the mechanical. Okay, so both they'll tell you, give a type after reading the specification. So pretty much they give a very long question. It's going to take you guys time to read. So I'll tell you guys how to do it. So after reading the specification, provide a title, draft an abstract of 150 words, and draft 2 independent claims and subsequent dependent claims. Okay, so they're not telling you 2 independent claims and then 2 dependent claims. They just want you to write 2 claims. Okay, very simple. So first claim, list out the elements. Second claim, explain 2 of the relations between the elements. Okay, don't overcomplicate it, keep it very simple. So they're asking you nothing. They don't, in this question for 20 marks, they don't expect you to write everything. Chai Tapri, FBOSS, Bangladesh, Cricket, Australia. Just title, just abstract, 2 claims. Don't waste too much time because you'll spend enough time just reading the question. Okay, and then part C2, again, they tell you, a client meets you and provides technical information regarding his invention. They've given you the details here. Okay, draft a complete specification. So here they expect you everything: Chai Tapri, FBOSS, and last 2 also, Bangladesh, Cricket, Australia, with at least 2 claims and a title for any one of the following descriptions for filing in the Indian Patent Office. This is 30 marks. Okay, you don't have to draw the figures. They've given you figures also. You don't have to draw them. Just you have to write everything. This is 30 marks. Okay, so here pretty much is a 3-hour exam, right? So section 1, as in part A and part B, just the subjective questions are going to take you 1 hour. Okay, so you have 2 hours for this. So keep 1 hour for part C1, keep 1 hour for part C2, and pretty much get it over with in the start only. Otherwise, you're going to spend way too much time at the end. You will not have enough time to complete your paper. Cool. So let's see the 2 inventions. So very quick run through. I of course cannot sit and draft it with you guys now. So part C1, they've given you 2 options, right? They give you a chemical invention and they give you a mechanical invention. So the chemical invention here is, they're talking about a fire resistant wire. Wait, I'll zoom in a bit more. Okay, just a second. Yeah, perfect. So fire resistant wires typically comprise a conductor wrapped with inorganic material. So you already know they're talking about the composition of a wire. Okay, they're talking about a fire resistant wire, and they're talking about polymer layers. Polymers are plastics, right? So you already know it's a chemical kind of invention. It's getting complicated. Then you come down and then you see something homopolymers, tetrafluoroethylene, petrofluoro, vinyl propyl. When you see this only, immediately tear your question paper and move on. Okay, don't waste your time. It's going to take you too much time to write the claims. Move on. Come to the second one. Okay, so this is a mechanical invention, because the second you see the diagram only, you know that this is some kind of device. Okay, it looks complicated. It's very simple. Okay, first when I saw this, I thought it was swimming goggles. It's not swimming goggles. It's a garlic crusher. Okay, so you guys would have seen the lemon squeezing device, right, that you have in the kitchen, where you put the lemon and then you turn it and then you squeeze it. So it's the same thing. There's a hinge over here. You put the garlic over here and then you turn it and then you squeeze it. Okay, so pretty much the inventive step is there is some lock or something over here. You just turn it and then it locks. And then there is some, I'm not sure what it is. They use a better crusher. No, it's not a lock. Okay, so once you squeeze it, you can rotate this. So this crusher spins also inside. Okay, so you get to spin this crusher also inside. So the advantage is you get to mince garlic very finely. This is the invention. Okay, so you will have to understand this. So you have 1 hour, right, for this answer. So in this 1 hour, you'll have to read the whole question. You'll have to write the entire claims and then the whatever else they've asked. So you have to be very quick. Okay, so where is question number 2 starting? So the invention consists of a device for crushing or mincing garlic or similar items. Cool. And then keep reading. And as you're reading itself, you'll be able to point out what is the background. Okay, then you'll be able to list out what is the field, and then you'll be able to list out what is the summary, and then what is the detailed description. So so here they've pretty much given you the abstract in the first paragraph. Okay, because they've told you about the device has an open topped receptacle formed with sides and a perforated bottom. A plunger fits within but is removable, and then some forcing means. Okay, so this first paragraph is pretty much your abstract. So blindly you can just copy this as your abstract. Okay, and then read on, And then they've explained what is figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, figure 4 over here. Okay, this is pretty much your Bangladesh, your B. Okay, the brief description of the accompanying figures. Just copy this. Your brief description is done. Okay, and then one problem with existing garlic crushers. So this is the background. They tell you what is the prior art and what is the existing problem. Okay, so this paragraph entirely became your background. Okay, quickly copy it and paste it till here, I guess, right? Then the present invention broadly consists of a garlic crusher and blah 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 blah, pretty much. Okay, then here you come to the objects of the invention. The garlic crusher of the present invention is designed particular to have its components formed by molding. And then I think they talk about few more problems that it solves. So that becomes your object. Okay, what is the issues that you're trying to solve? So you can take the object from here, as in like the effective means of crushing garlic, and then to take the juice out and rubbish like that, and then pretty much this molding of suitable plastic, because you can use it, make it using moldable plastic also. So your object is also done. Okay, then after that, here they start explaining how the invention works. Okay, they're talking about plunger 1, plunger 2, plunger 3, the plurality of holes. Notice the words they're using. Okay, then how 5 taper inwardly towards the bottom, and then how the cone is positioned, how the forcing member exists. So all this is your detailed description. Okay, this thing you'll have to entirely write for your detailed description. So what you do when you run out of time is, I wrote like 2-3 lines, and then I put comma 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 comma, you guys know, right? And then I said same as in question, and then I wrote the last paragraph. So not advisable. If you guys don't have time, do that. Okay, and write very quickly. It doesn't have to be very neat also. Just jaldi say. Write one sentence, skip 2 sentences, write one more, skip a sentence, write one more, and go on. So each figure that you're explaining, figure 1 does this, figure 2 is this, figure 3 is this, figure 4 is this. This is all your detailed description. Okay, pull all of this out of the question. So by the time you write all this, no, you would have understood your entire invention. Okay, so the first thing when you get the question paper, no, read the first paragraph. That's your abstract. Okay, you've got your abstract here. And then based on the abstract, look at the diagram. Okay, see the diagram, understand what it is. See figure 1, figure 2, and then figure 3, and then read what each figure is. So here, what are they saying? Here they've given you, right? So they're saying figure 1 is a side view of the garlic crusher in a closed position. Okay, so here they're saying figure 1 is a side view. Okay, you guys can visualize it, right? Like when you put the lemon or the garlic in and you squeeze it, and then this plunger is there on the top. Cool, I understood that. So there's a hinge here. You put the garlic and you crush it from the top. Cool. And then what is figure 2 now? So here they're saying figure number 2 shows a plan view. Wait, I'll just move this. Figure 2 shows a plan view from above the garlic crusher and a mincer in the closed position. So figure 2 is a top view. Okay, so figure 2 is from the upper side. So you guys can already see, right? There's a hinge here. You'll put the garlic over here, and then this is the crushing portion. So you squeeze it from the top. So you're looking at it from the top. Oh, figure 2 is here. Cool. That's figure 3. So figure 2 is from the top. This plunger has this portion that you can turn. Okay, so once you close it, you can rotate this portion, number 20. Okay, so then figure 3, once you read figure number 3, shows a plan view as in top view from above the part of the garlic crusher in an open position. We already saw, right? When it's open from the top, that's what it looks like. And figure 4 shows a side view of the plunger. Okay, so now that there is a plunger, that is the inventive step, right? This figure 4, this plunger that you can spin inside. So it's put from the top. You can see it from here, the top, number 20. And when you look at it from the top itself, this is 20. You can rotate that. So basically, within 5 minutes, you guys have understood the invention. You've read the abstract, you know what it is, and seeing the figure, what each figure is, you know what the invention exactly is. Okay, now you start writing the answer immediately. You guys will be done within an hour. Okay, claim drafting is very simple. Claim number 1, I claim / we claim a garlic crushing device based on what your title is. Okay, select your title, put that title there, comprising, and then start listing the elements. And the elements are already given over here. Each of the elements is given in the detailed description as you write it. Okay, so firstly, where does it start? So starting from here, a first elongated member number 1, comma, semicolon, a second elongated member 2, semicolon, a plunger 3, semicolon. Okay, and then where is the plunger? Okay, a plunger also. So this is pretty much a first claim. Okay, and if you can detail it, go on. Don't write such a small claim. Of course, add more material. Add a first elongated member, a plurality of holes 7, a set of this thing, a handle number 9, a forcing member number 10. A forcing member is a crushing member. Okay, write all this in your first claim. Okay, and then claim number 2. Just take one of the items that we're talking about the plunger. Make it the plunger. So write the garlic crushing device as mentioned in claim number 1, wherein the plunger, and then explain what the plunger does. So you'll have some more details over here about what the plunger does. See here, the plunger number 3, which is shown separate from this thing, is rotatably attached to the forcing member number 10. So this you can write as claim number 2. Okay. So claim number 2, take one element of claim number 1 and explain it in slightly in detail based on what it does. Okay. Very simple. This is what you do. I'll explain it again in the second example now, what all to do in the steps. Any doubts in this? Any doubts? Cool. I'll be proceeding to question number part C2. Same thing. You guys will have to write everything from the top. So first one, you do not have to write everything, just the title, abstract, and the 2 claims. Part C2, they expect you to draft the entire complete specification. So write form 2, the Patents Act 1970, patent rule, blah, 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 section this, section that, form 2, some other disclaimers there, write all that. Then the applicant's name, the address, the nationality, the name. Then the third thing, the disclaimer for the preamble. And then you start writing the background, FBOSS, right? So field, background, object, summary, then the brief description of the accompanying drawings, the detailed description, the claims, the abstract. Cool. So even here, there's 2 inventions. First one, you can see the motorcycle. It's a mechanical invention. Okay. You can blindly do it. And the next one that they're talking about is the present invention is about a coating. Okay. Some form of concerned with the temperature regulated cookware and servingware. So they're talking about some kind of technology that they're going to put on a cooker. Okay. So again, it's a little complicated. If you have the energy to go for an electronic or a chemical invention, go for it, but not advisable. It takes too much time. So come to this immediately. So first paragraph, okay, they're talking about a motorcycle. By the time you read the first paragraph, you'll know what it is. It's the abstract. Okay. Motorcycles nowadays still use internal combustion engines as a primary source of power. So this pretty much became your background also now. Electric motorcycles will prevail in the foreseeable future due to technological advancement. Okay. Hence, it is imperative to apply wind power generation in electric motorcycles such that a wind power generating module can function as an auxiliary recharging device. Very simple. They're talking about electric bikes and they're talking about charging the battery using a wind power. Okay. Using a wind power generating module. Very simple. I've already understood what the invention is. Okay. So the inventors of the present invention endeavor to improve the prior art and thus propose a wind power generating module. So this whole thing became your background because they're telling you what exists and what is the future. And then they've given you the objective also, what problem that your inventor is looking to solve for use with an electric scooter. Cool. The proposed wind power generating module introduces external air thereinto while the electric scooter is moving. Very simple. So when the scooter is running, air obviously blows, right? So it collects the air which is blowing, and then fan blades are driven to rotate by the current of air, simple, and comprise a duct for enhancing the rotational efficiency of the fan blades, thereby increasing the power generation of the power capacity. Simple. So it's just a generator which has blades. When the scooter moves, it spins, the rotors spin, and then it charges the battery. It's an electric scooter. Understood the invention within 2 minutes, right? Look at the diagram now immediately. Where is the diagram? Just a second. Hi. Just a second. Why is it not moving? My scroll was okay, cool. So coming to the diagram of the invention, cool. They've given you very ambiguous diagrams. Do not get scared. It looks like bullshit, I know, but don't get scared. So they're showing you 2 diagrams and they all look like what? Rotors, right? That are going to spin. And I'm assuming that there is some kind of generator. Okay, so some kind of propeller. When the wind blows, it's going to spin and then it's going to turn a generator and generator will generate electricity. They've given you more images. So this is the scooter itself. And then this generating module can either be placed over here where the front portion of the vehicle is, the fender is. So you can either have 1 or 2. And if it's a cycle, you can put it as the headlight itself. Okay. So they've given you 2 embodiments. Either it can either come over here in the fender or it can come as a headlight. So I've already understood the invention. So when the cycle moves, that rotor spins and I'm going to get you electricity now. And then I think 109 is the battery, I'm assuming. Otherwise, they won't be listing it here. So 109 is probably going to be what is getting charged. And number 10 is the rotor itself. Cool. So 10 is the rotor itself. And yeah, these are the fan blades. Cool. So I've already understood the invention, right? So based on the question itself, you guys you've already got the background and the abstract. And then as you read, now you already know what the figure is, right? So figure 1, 2, 3. So figure 1A is a front view. Figure 1B is a rear view. Figure 2 is a perspective view. Figure 3A is a schematic view. So you've already got brief description of the accompanying drawings. This is done. Then the object you've got, background you've got, summary you'll be able to write based on the claims later on. And then where is the detail? It's the objective of the present invention is to provide a wind power generating module. So this is the object. So cut paste this, you get the object. Okay. And then this you can even take a bit of this from for the abstract also because they've explained how the generator works. It's a disk type generator rotor powered for this rubbish, blah 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 blah, opening this that. Okay. So once these figures have been explained what each figure is, then they go into detailed description. See, referring to figures. Here they start explaining what each figure does in reference to each thing. So from here, it is the detailed description. You can just pretty much copy this for your detailed description. A wind power generating module 10 for use with an electric scooter according to is a portable wind, blah 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 blah. And then they explain how the external air is introduced into it, how the generator rotates, and then it's a disk type generator, and go on so on. Okay. So then they explain how the fan blades rotate, and then they talk about the cross section, and then the wheel hub, and then the fan blade, blah blah blah. So how you will do this is claim number 1, introduce the vehicle or this generator, and then list out the elements. Okay, the blades, the rotor, the hub, the disc, the vehicle itself, and then claim number 2, explain something with respect to claim number 1. Okay, explain something as to how the hub. See, here they've given the disc type generator and the wheel hub 101A of the fan blades 101 are coupled together. And then once the fan blades start to rotate, the rotation will drive the. Okay, so wait, don't write this. So yeah, so identify some component from here and then explain it. Okay, write this. The duct is spaced apart from the outermost portion of the fan blades by a gap wherein the fan blades can rotate within the opening freely. Okay, so this you can write as your claim number 2. So write that the duct as mentioned in claim number 1, wherein the duct is spaced apart from the outermost, just copy paste this as your claim. Okay, so claim 1, very simple, introduce your component, give the elements, and then claim number 2, make a dependent claim referring back to claim number 1. Okay, so this is pretty much how you do this paper. I know it's a lot to take within a single meet. Any questions before I wind up this? Any questions regarding this question, at least regarding the motorcycle? Any questions?
Vishnu, not regarding the specific question, but in general, I'm able to gather that we are mostly using the data from the question and rephrasing it
Yes.
or elucidating it. So that will be all, I think. No need to extrapolate something
Yeah, don't
out of it.
don't. It's too risky and it's unnecessary. The question has everything, and there's no time for you guys to think and write.
We have to just stick to the question details in the questions and just sort. Basically, we have to sort the sections, like what should be the title,
Pretty
what should
much.
be the object, what should be the summary, as from the data that has been given in the question.
So
That is sorting has to be done.
even in practice,
Mostly.
no, the inventor will give you all the details. Okay, so your job as a patent agent, what they expect you to do is not to invent a motorcycle. They expect you to put everything in order. Okay, just to procedurally make it grantable. That's it. So cut paste everything from the question. No issues at all. Okay.
So
Keep
just the
pace
sorting part has to be okay.
pretty much. Okay. So try and finish these 2 questions within 2 hours, because let me tell you, even the starting subjective, it takes time to write. Okay. So as fast as you can for paper number 2. That's about it. It takes time to understand the invention, no doubt. Spend some time, because don't write something wrong. Definitely write something which is correct only, because don't spend some time looking at the diagram, read the figure, understand what it is, and then start writing.
And Vishnu, apart from the initial subjective questions that have been given of, I think 5 marks or 10 marks, I don't know exactly. In those, there are word limits specified, or we have to judge on our own by
I
the
don't
number
think
of marks allotted.
I don't think there are word limits. You can pretty much gauge, and don't write pages together. Okay, the examiners don't have time. Just be crisp with your answers.
Actually, you just mentioned in the beginning, just a
Ah,
little while back, that the more you write, the more they
for
give
the
the
for the
number.
drafting part, not for these questions. For the
Okay.
drafting, when you write a lot, they think, oh, this is a very interested patent agent. Maybe we should make him a patent agent.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the more you can cut and copy, that's a good thing. But for this, be crisp with
Okay.
your answer.
Okay.
Cool. I'll end the recording.